I know. You're wondering. I know that neck surgery had affected her brain, right? Yes, it did. In more ways than one. But that might be a good thing because I was thinking as I was going through some of my offcuts of batting, what can I do with this? I don't want to throw it away. So I'm thinking, let's make some abstract little slow stitch pieces that I can stack up and save for the special event we're going to have next year. And that's where we're going to be working with refashioning, embellishing some of our wardrobe with our slow stitch pieces. So this is one that I'm just about finished with. I'm put a few more stitches in it. And I don't know exactly what I'll do with it, but hey, it's going to be done, and I know I'm going to find a place to put it in one of my pieces. So I'm going to be working on this, adding some more stitches as we talk about the first question that I have prepared for this little series I'm going to be doing on questions that slow stitchers ask. And the first one is, I hear this from different ones from time to time. Why does my slow stitching look messy instead of artistic? Well, first of all, let's remember that art is in the eye of the beholder. How many times have you went to a gallery or just in the art department of your favorite hobby store or department store, or you look at the art in your dentist's office and you think, yuck, I don't know why they call that art. I hate it. Art is in the eye of the beholder. So if someone doesn't think that your creations are artistic, that's an opinion, okay? That's not a certification. You can be an artist, but you won't be in the eyes of everyone. Now, also, messy is again an opinion. As I've stated before, one time I had a comment where someone said that my work looked like something that a kindergartner would do. It was messy. And what they didn't understand was messy is my style. I'm not a perfectionist. I don't like it. And while I can do things that are more planned and structured, most people that do like planned and structured items are going to view my work as messy, okay? So that's their opinion. Again, it's not a certification. There are other people who love what I do and would love to be able to do the same thing. So that is their opinion, but not a certification. So remember that, first of all, messy, just like art, is in the eye of the beholder. But there are some practical things that maybe I could bring out that in case you wanted to get your pieces more structured and less freestyle or messy, you could think about. The first one could be that maybe for you have a lack of planning. You jump into a project without really thinking it through, without maybe auditioning some layouts, some color choices, some arrangements, and looking at each of those things and seeing if they are cohesive for you, if they coordinate for you, if they look neat to you, and doing those things first. So maybe you just have a little bit of a lack of planning, maybe you need more of that. Now, I know if you stick around with me much, you hear me say that I don't plan things. And I normally I don't. Every once in a while, something comes up that I do have to plan. And but normally I'm not a planner. I just start somewhere and let it grow intuitively. But that may not work for you. So if you want to, let's say, clean up your messiness, you're going to have to do a little bit more planning. Maybe also you haven't mastered enough your stitching. For instance, if you're trying to do lazy daisy stitches and yours come out all loose and woppy doodled, then you're going to have to practice your stitches a little bit more, each individual stitch that you like to do, the ones that aren't working right for you. Okay. Now, like what I'm stitching right now, I'm just meandering around. I'm just adding some stitches because it's the stitches that I want to show in this piece. I want all the stitches to show, and they are going in every which direction. All right. So now for some of you, this say that, yep, that looks messy. That looks like kindergartner stuff. But for somebody else, they would say, I wish I could get mine to look like that. And so, again, it's an opinion. And my suggestions here are just that too. But I know there are a lot of you out there that struggle with being more freestyle. And when you try, you get messy. And in your opinion, so these are just suggestions that you might think about to clean up your work in order that you're happier with it. The next one is a tension problem. Sometimes when we're stitching, we might loop on the back or something, and then suddenly that loop comes to the front, and because we weren't paying enough attention to the tension that we were putting on our stitches, or we weren't pulling our threads tight, and so we want to think about that. Now we can be too loose and we can be too tight. So both ways we need to pay a little more attention maybe to our tension. Another thing is maybe you travel too far on the back. Like I've got a couple instances, like maybe you travel too far and you leave too much looseness back here when you do that. I've seen some people that travel clean across a piece. And that's hard to get your tension right when you do that, especially if you're not paying attention to your tension at the time. So traveling could be a problem too, or jumping, around from one place to another over long distances. You might try taking shorter strokes to get to where you want to be on the back of your piece, okay? All right, what's another one that we, you may want to practice slow stitching. Slow stitching's been all about the mindfulness of it, right in the moment. We're not worried about the destination or how we do it. Basically, we just meander around and stitch. But that is not all there is to slow stitching. And while we do want to enjoy it, while there are times we definitely are in the moment, most of us have a purpose, and we have a desired goal for our piece, what we want it to look like and end up being. So those are just things that you might want to give more attention to when you're meandering around or you're in the moment. You might break out of that for a moment and think, okay, what's my destination and how am I getting there and how's it looking and how am I doing on that? So let's don't forget that structure takes thought. And so you can't just always stitch in the moment and not come out the way you want it to if you're a very structured stitcher. Okay, I've got enough stitches in that, I believe, and I'm going to put that on my little shelf for future use. And I'll be doing more of these in the future. That was kind of fun. And like I said, I don't have a clue what this is going on, but believe me, it's going on something. So that's the little first installment of this new playlist I'm working on, questions that slow stitchers ask. And I hope to give some practical help through that playlist. So stay with me, and tomorrow morning, don't forget, on Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock, I upload the next installment of the collaboration with Marcia at Markets of Sunshine. It'll be episode number 3 out of 12. So be sure to check in tomorrow morning. Until then, stay scrub happy, friends.